So, what is Backdrop Designer? You ask yourself. You come on here thinking, what is this weird gradient? Why don't I have access to start a file or open a file like I would in Photoshop? The reason being, this isn't Photoshop. This is different. This is to do with backgrounds, and it's already preset a pretty standard size for you to work with retro style pixel work, which the shaders take care of, or you just want to make some cool assets in here, or make a tileable background. So I'll try and explain everything, but there's a lot going on here. A lot of this needs put into menus because these are like development type features, and yeah, there's a lot going on. Now when you open it up, you've got your gradient, and you can easily change that by right clicking on these swatches, or click on one of the colors here and change those up. If you want both colors to be the same, just right click whichever one it is you want, and that way you'll get a solid color background. These colors refer to the brushes. If you choose a brush over here, so there's multiple sets of brushes. I'm just going to choose like this planet one, and you can see a little preview of the brush here. When you hover over here, you see the preview of the brush down here, and I'm just going to click that down. Now it's a weird looking colors, right, and I'm going to change them, but nothing happens to that one, right? It only happens to the next brush. So you can see a preview up there how that's going to look. You can bring these tones in and out. The tones will become transparent unless you put solid mode on, and they become solid, but you can choose to have them there or not. Anyway, so once you've done that, now you can change these. Now if you did want to just update that one that's already down, you can just click this little update button, and it's going to throw these colors and all the features and parameters onto that last brush that you made. So you can easily go ahead and make a change. If you want it to auto update, just click this one, and you can see the change in real time, exactly what you're going to get. So there's other features here. You got blurriness, you got the cutout feature, which kind of turns the transparency to all or nothing. You got the amount of each color, the solidness, whether it's solid or transparent, so you can kind of just use if you want. You can right click on any color so they all get the tones, that way they're blending correctly, and you can make them blend to white or whatever, right? You can have a white edge and make some cool looking marks. So that, like, just doing that is giving me like a brand new brush, and you know, you can do some cool stuff, some cool effects like that. Let's say I wanted to change all of this. Now I've been drawing in layer 10. I want to change all of the brushes, not just the last brush. You know, if I click white, only the last one's getting updated. I'm just going to turn off this auto update, and I'm going to like change everything on that layer. So what I've got down here is recolor layer, preview F3, bake F4. So I'll click on preview, and that means every brush in that layer is going to have what you just saw, like the ability to change them. So I'm going to make them all white like that. In fact, let's change a few of these tones up just to see if we get a little bit of kind of blue coming through. I need to bring these sliders in. There we go. So I've made a kind of like a, I don't know, weird effect, like a explosive sort of. So that's all good and well. Now I can undo these and just like redraw. I can also change the opacity. So I'm still changing everything in that layer whilst this preview mode is active. I'm still making real-time changes. Right, so once I'm happy, I can turn it off to set it back to what it was, or once I'm happy, press bake, and that's going to change those brushes in that layer. It's a cool feature, a little bit time needed to get your head around where it can be used, but for example, if I wanted to change all of this to yellow, let's just say I'm on a completely different brush, right? I'm going to reset all this stuff, right? And even choose some different colors. In fact, I'll reset this to the original colors of that brush. Doesn't matter about it. I'm on layer 10. I want to change everything here. I'm just going to click preview, and it's adopted all of this. Now this is the slider to go between the original color that the brush has in it when I've imported it, and it's going to detect black tones, blue tones, red tones, and green tones in that brush and swap them out for these, right? These are your primary colors. So if you're designing brushes with these in mind, especially in additive sort of mode, so you start with black, you add blue over it, you add red over it, you add green over it. That way you've got access to each individual channel and you can choose what you want to see. So I'm just going to make this into, I don't know, interesting looking flower or something. Let's make that white and let's change this. And there you go, nice little flower. And let's say I'm happy with that. I just want to click bake. That means everything in that layer is now got these colors forever. Can't get them back, can't change them back to the way they were. I'm going to grab this brush using this little grabber down here. I'm going to grab that image and it's going to be, let's call it flower because it kind of looks like a flower. So I've grabbed that brush and then I'm just going to clear everything, all the work that I've done. I'm just going to get rid of that. So I'll just do reset. Okay, and now I've got this. Now let's say I want to do something interesting with this. So we know we can recolor it. So if I plop that down and plop another one down, in fact let's do one there and one there. I'm going to do an update on that brush and nothing happens. Nothing happens because we're still on original color, right? So as soon as I swap that, so we go halfway between the new and old. You see the preview up here, so you know exactly what's gonna get updated. So I'll click update. Right, let's just put auto update on, and I'm gonna mess around with some of these tones. I'm just gonna right click to grab what's here and bring in that. You can see it's all gone kind of a bit blue. Right clicking. You can also store these colors if you like what you've done and you want to kind of keep them for later. Like that. You can just left click on one of these to replace it. Right? You can always middle mouse to get it back to the original default and right click to recall what you want, right? So that's me got that. And okay, I want a bit more. I want a bit of tonal variation between these. So I'm just going to clear everything with Control Backspace. That's exactly the same as the reset here. It just gets rid of all the brush plots that you've made. And I'm going to change it to be random color, right? As I start clicking, it's going to actually vary the color up for me. Based on these, it's going to do like a little bit of deviation based on that range. So the bigger that range, the more it's going to deviate from these colors. Right, if I put it very low, it's only going to be a small change. So that's kind of like your color dynamics in Photoshop. Okay, so we get loads of different colors there. Now to stroke like that, you just hold down Shift and it will do lots of plots. Right. Bear in mind, Backdrop Designer is constantly drawing all these plots. It's not like Photoshop where it kind of draws a stroke and then just puts it onto your canvas, forgets about it. It's constantly drawing these every frame because it's treating them like sprites and they are dynamic. They will update individually. So another cool feature I want to show you for that, Mart, is these eye level things. So as I go to this little line here, that's my eye level my eye level position. Right, I'm just going to put all these up. So you see as I get close to that line, the brush gets bigger and smaller. And that's handy if you want to do some things fading into the distance. But that is also dynamic. So as I change the factor here, for everything that had some eye level factor applied to it when you put the brush down, if you've done nothing here, if you've done no eye level factor, they're not going to be affected when you adjust these. So these are kind of adjusting the eye position and they're automatically updating everything. So there's a lot of dynamic stuff happening in here. We can change the blurriness as well of anything in the layer. We just do it like a preview. We can see how these would look if they were blurry like that. Bear in mind we're adopting these colors as well, so there'll be some options to complicate things even more, like whether you want to adopt the blurriness and the color or things like that. So I still need to figure out how the UI would look with all these check boxes and things everywhere. It's already looking quite busy. I'm going to turn that off, and anyway, so that's a new feature. So you can turn that eye level factor down and it won't have any effect. It's off by default. I'm just going to clear everything. So let's say you wanted this to look flatter, like on the ground, like a kind of ground design. Well, what you can also do, so since we've saved this brush, when I grabbed it earlier, it's became a usable brush, just like this palm tree that I made before. So you can put that to the original color. You can see I can kind of tint this towards what I've got there. So let's say I want to put this on the ground. So what I'm going to do is go up to this 3D distort mode, and I see this image here. I'm going to swap. I'm just going to click on the flower whilst that's active, and that's now swapped for this. And I'm just going to play with the tilt and the field of view and zoom out. I can get this kind of isometric view. If I put the field of view all the way down, it's more or less isometric, and I can play with that tilt. But now I've got another brush that I can grab, but I need to first click Capture 3D, because it's not essentially, I can't just grab with this here, it doesn't see it just yet. So once I click Capture 3D, it becomes a temporary brush, and then I can grab that. I'll call this flat design. And now I can clear any work that I've done or undo. Right, so I've got this flatter flower now. I've got two different designs, and I can put this down in the ground and maybe tint it up a bit. So I want to do the auto update, play with new colors, and then right click, and then I'll get these new designs. So I'm going to right click on one of these colors to make it all black, and that's me now got something I can kind of make a design with. Now if I press W, I'm going to get a tileable pattern. It's quite good for wallpaper. So I've kind of made a wallpaper design here accidentally. And it tiles, so as soon as I save it, it's going to all look fine. I can also do the preview, start to change things, like make all that blurry. Play with the colors. So everything's still there. All that information, I can still play around with it. I'm just going to click Tab, and it's going to actually pick that background color, and I do Tab here. It's going to pick random colors. So Tab's useful. Tab basically samples different colors within this little square that you see flash up, and that's then bringing those into those colors. There's also random amount here, which changes these sliders at random, so you can get different effects. And yeah, until you like something, and then you can even add a little bit of gradient to that to make it look like a nice kind of sloped. And there you have a tileable, horizontally tileable texture that might be cool for a game background. So I'm just going to click Bake, and you save that out. You can save it out 2x resolution, 3x resolution in this mode. Now there's another mode, there's the pixel mode. You switch to that, basically it's going to give you just this, what you see here, which is 1280 by 800. It doesn't do extra resolution, but this is cool because you get access to all these dither ranges, dither images, the pixel blending, different images, different modes with higher resolution. And that already looks pretty cool as a kind of wallpaper. It's going to increase the range even more. And that one looks cool. I've got a couple of favourite ones here. I do really like the first one. It's a little bit noisy. I like the second one because it only uses like a checker or a solid colour. The third one uses horizontal lines, solid or kind of vary between the lines. And this one is like a vertical version, and they work slightly different depending on the blend mode you get into, so you get slightly different results. There's a nice diagonal one I'm going to go for as well. You change that range, you're really going to see that. So I'm constantly like adding new dither effects and get to see how those look. I think that looks pretty cool. There's even more pixel modes, and there's more going to be coming as well, but these are basically good ones to start you with. That looks awesome as well. But if you're happy with that, you just save. So you just do Control S and it's going to save that image out. I'll just call this pixel wallpaper. Right, I'll save that for later. Now I'm just going to turn that off. I'm going to reset everything. And let's say I wanted to bring that pixel wallpaper in, and I'm back in normal mode here, right? So I'm just going to click on one of these empty slots, and I'm going to go and find my pixel wallpaper, and it automatically uses the file name. And there we go. So that's how that looks. Now I've still got the blurriness up. I'm going to bring that down, and let's say I want it to snap in place without me trying to guess where it goes, because I can see I've not got it perfect. It's a little bit off there. So I'm going to click this button, which basically makes it full size. And if I want to plop it down in the middle, I just click this button and that actually places it down for me. So now when I press W, it should tile. It should tile. Let me just check that. Let's put the shifting on, just have a look around. Yeah, I think it is tiling. It's just part of what happened with the blurriness or something, but let's just put that back on. So shifting off and W on. Yeah, for the most part it looks like it's tiling. It's just a little kind of weird bit there. So that is that. With that down, I can change the color of this one as well. Let's do auto update. Choose different colors and get a little bit of tint in there. And that is really retro looking, but it basically tiles. So you can see that's the wrapped image there. And you can see that one stops but continues on this side. That looks perfectly fine. So you can load in your own images, pixel art, anything. You can make up your own trees. I've been making some videos lately of how to use all the stuff that's in here. I've loaded up some oil paint brushes to make your own little oil splats. And let me just grab that back. Let's just turn that off. Let's grab some colors here. Let's put that up full. Reset that. And you can even go ahead and add some little kind of marks in the wall. Some oil paint. Not just good for doing an oil painting, but good for like adding dirt and things. You see it's still using the random color. I'm going to turn that off. There's a lot of features in here that you won't be familiar with until you click them off and on and mess around a bit. And they do get a little bit kind of detailed what they do. And I've covered it in previous videos, plus there's documentation on it. So I hope you enjoy using Background Designer to make your backgrounds, and check out all the videos. There's a huge playlist and I've detailed that in the page on itch. So thanks for watching guys, enjoy, bye.